It was a warm evening when 9-year-old Martin and his best friend Zia set off on an unforgettable adventure in the desert. They were in the United Arab Emirates with their families, ready to explore the vast, mysterious desert landscape. The sun was beginning to set, casting an orange glow over the rolling sand dunes, and the air was cooler, a welcome relief from the midday heat. As their families unpacked the camp gear, Martin and Zia couldn't wait to explore. They grabbed their hats, magnifying glasses, and binoculars, and ran off toward the distant dunes. "Let's see what kind of creatures we can find out here," Martin said, grinning excitedly. Zia adjusted her wide-brimmed hat and nodded. With the soft golden light of evening bathing the desert around them, the two friends climbed up a large dune. The sand was fine and soft under their feet, and with every step, they sank deeper, making it a little harder to move. Martin and Zia slid down the dune, their laughter echoing in the air. As they reached the bottom, Martin suddenly stopped and pointed ahead. "Look, there's something moving," he whispered, his eyes wide. Martin squinted and saw a small, dark shape scuttling across the sand. "It's a darkling beetle," he said, crouching down to get a closer look. The beetle, with its shiny black shell, was quick, darting across the sand. "Wow, it's fast," Martin marveled as the beetle made its way into a tiny hole in the sand. "Looks like it's going home," Zia said, watching the beetle disappear. They moved on, eager to discover more. As they continued walking, the evening light deepened, and the desert seemed to come alive with movement. Suddenly, Zia gasped. "Martin, look at that!" Up ahead, perched on a rock, was a large green insect. It was a praying mantis, its eyes staring intently at the two friends. "Whoa," Martin whispered. "It's huge." The mantis seemed unfazed by their presence, slowly turning its head as it examined them. As they walked back, Zia suddenly froze and pointed to the sand. "Snake tracks," she said, her voice hushed. Martin knelt beside her and studied the marks in the sand. They were long and winding. They carefully followed the snake's tracks, but soon they disappeared into the dry brush, leaving no trace of the snake itself. "No snake," Martin said, a little disappointed but still excited. They wandered a little further and spotted something even more interesting. Tiny holes in the sand, leading down into the earth. "Look, burrows!" Martin exclaimed, kneeling down to get a closer look. "These must be where the darkling beetles live." Zia bent down beside him. "I bet that's where the beetles were going earlier." "They live underground," she said, fascinated by the little homes the beetles had made. Eventually, they decided it was time to return to the camp. The sky had turned dark, and the stars were now bright overhead. The fire at their campsite flickered in the cool evening air, and their families were gathered around.